my story.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
Hi. It's
okay.
It's a
I was gonna wear a onesie. I mean, I guess I could go change. I don't want to change though. I might later.
I want to say, like, I planned on doing a whole thing. Okay, so like I maybe did, but the water heater has been off, like broken in my apartment for the last 2 days. So let's blame that. Listen, my neighborhood want to fight.
For 2 days?
For 2 days. And they're like, yeah, we did, like, hey, let's send this long email about it, but like no resolution. We're working really hard. You're not working hard enough.
Did this happen because I said I wanted to move there?
I feel like you did. Oh wait, you froze. Okay, you're back.
I thought you froze. I think we were both.
No, me. Yo, honestly, No, I'm not gonna move because I was gonna say I'm kind of far from my Wi-Fi, so if it messes up, I'll just go out there. I got it.
It's been a day. It's been a.
How does this always happen?
I don't know. Y'all are gonna look at the wall for a second because you just reminded me I don't have my Aquaphor with me, and that can't continue.
No. You got to
say hi to Anastasia. I'll be right back.
Hi.
It's a good thing I put pants on.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
There's cats.
Oh my god. Look at what I also have. You're not there, but people can see. We have the same thing.
Not want to be, but like that's how neurotic he is that short amount of time that I left. So now he has to figure out how to get himself back over there.
Look, Portia, look, I got this too.
What is that? Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Perfect. Somebody sent it to me somebody sent it from my wish list. I don't know who sent it. I don't remember.
Get out! Someone sent mine from my wish list.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't buy things for me.
No.
So I put them on my wish list. It was like I think it's the first thing someone bought for me. I have to make a video like thanking people for the wish list items, but then I just don't do it.
Uh-huh.
It is.
Who is that person that said the Planet of the Apes? Wow, we're getting started early, huh? That's fun. That's cool. It's 3 minutes. We've been online for 3 minutes.
We haven't even said anything yet.
Literally, I've said nothing. Yeah. Well,
I don't know how to have a normal day before our lives, but apparently.
So we can't have a normal week before our lives, and not even like a normal day, because I got the news about the academy right before I popped on here. Did you see that?
What?
He pulled out of the academy. Uh-huh. So I'm gonna ask the mods here to really pay attention because I have some thoughts about this, and I'm going to ask everybody that's in here to do your very best to shut up and just listen. This is a conversation. One reason why we said to stay out of this is because this became a bigger situation that it needed to be. The conflation that white women have had to their abusers in the past, the conflation of saying, I feel so triggered behind this. I'm going to keep it a stack real quick. It was an open-handed slap. And we can talk any other way about any other thing. But one thing that I'm tired of hearing is protect Black women, stand up for Black women. And then when it happens, this is the shit that goes down. Because nobody has apologized to Jada Pinkett Smith yet. Not a single fucking apology has been issued to her at all. So now we have her that hasn't been apologized to. We have Black women everywhere that are watching this and saying, cool, so stand up for us until. And then when all of this shit blows over, because it blew over in that, you know who handled that? Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson. Go ahead and you can leave. You don't have to listen to this conversation. That's the beauty of TikTok. It was handled in-house, right? Sure, it was on national TV. If this would have happened on the street, nobody would have heard anything about it. If this were anybody else, the conversation would be different. Yes. So all of this stuff has been
Awful.
adding up to this situation that, again, was handled in-house, where one man has apologized, not fucking Chris Rock, who has been villainizing, demonizing, and brutally verbally abusing Black women since the 90s, specifically Jada Pinkett Smith, since the 90s, is walking around acting like this motherfucker said he felt like he got hit by Muhammad Ali. So that's on some coon shit right there. That's how I feel about that. So now we've blown this all the way up. And now one man that did the one thing that we've been asking for, could it have been handled differently? I will leave space. I will leave space for that. I will leave space. And when I say space, I mean...
It's Black space, by the way.
And it's Black space. It is for Black opinion, Black people's opinion for how that potentially could have been handled differently. But we finally had she sat there upset, even if she didn't look upset, because everybody's like, well, he was laughing too. He was laughing too. Have you never laughed in a situation where you knew you couldn't say anything? Because I'll tell you what, before I found my voice and started saying what the fuck I wanted to say, when the fuck I wanted to say it, I laughed off a lot of shit. It's another form of code switching. So he saw his wife was upset and he took care of his wife, and now we have this. And so the one man that did the one thing that Black women have been asking for centuries is the one that's stepping away. All those thought pieces, all of those thought pieces that everybody rushed to come out with all of their opinions, not knowing the entire story, not knowing any of this.
And what is the goal? What is the goal?
I have no idea, because
violence against him, punishment against him, right? Okay, so he removes himself from the thing. What hurt? They want... It's a punitive only system. This can be a conversation. I knew immediately we were going to talk about, it was going to be a conversation about assault or
not. Exactly. This whole violence isn't the answer, but you want to call the police and you would potentially have them jailed. Boy, do I have some news for you about mass incarceration. Boy, do I have some news for you.
We don't want that. But I don't see, and I always struggle to bring up these types of topics in these spaces, because I'm like, don't y'all dare have opinions.
That's why I won't do it.
That's what made it dangerous.
Yep.
It was, nothing has changed about the situation.
Yep. Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. If the tree fell in the forest and you weren't there to catch it, would it impact your life?
It still would have fell. And that's why I won't have a video on it, because I don't want these lasting opinions. They still trickle in and everything. Yeah. But I don't want that, because all it is are these hypotheticals. It's still happening on the Tiffany Haddish video. It's still happening, where all these hypotheticals, maybe she was nervous, maybe she said the wrong word. The instinct to defend a white person or to villainize a Black person is that. It's that instinct. It's that quick. It's that quick when it is white voices in spaces that involve Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. It is instantly going to the worst possible, the worst case scenario. It's the reason why they only relate to us through trauma and through pain, because it's the worst. I can't imagine how difficult it is for you. You're right. You can't. You sure can't. And I don't want you to. There's that other thing. I don't want you to. I don't want you to feel what you have made me feel. I don't want you to experience what you have put me through. That's not how this works. And that's the fucking problem, is that for white people, equity means that we all suffer. Right. Here's a concept. Here's a concept. What if, instead of everybody suffering, I don't know, we figured out a way for us all to just fucking make it.
Get out. No way.
I know.
Because then how would they know if they're good, if they're not better than other people? And how can they be better than other people if they're not morally superior and right? And therefore, I don't know. I don't want to learn any new ways to be right. So let's just stick with what we got. Okay?
Right. That's it. I don't want to learn anything new. It's that whole thing. Like, you're still talking about race? You're still on this? I mean, yeah. It turns out I still am.
That is...
I've had a lot of thinking this week. I thought we were going to have a calm week.
I don't know what we were thinking. Hey, Sunny.
Hi, Sunny. I thought I saw Sunny in here.
Yeah. Like, you can't... and then the conversation became about, you know, the bigger... Black women always take the conversation to a bigger place of, hey, don't butt into business that isn't yours. This is time to reflect. This is why your opinions are inherently violent. Like, let's learn from this. No, but I was traumatized. I have trauma. You don't think Black women have trauma?
Right.
We just don't tell you about it.
Yeah, and I have to talk about it. I have to express my... Why? Why do you have to express your opinion about this? It has nothing to do with you. Do you express your opinion when your cop neighbor beats his wife? I bet you don't. Do you express your opinion when you see the Black kids in your neighborhood get pulled over just because they're Black and walking with their bike? I bet you don't. You saw something big and newsworthy and thought, this is my moment to shine. And what's worse is that the women, I'm going to call it that, the white women who have been the loudest about this really thought they were doing something. What the fuck have you done? Nobody checked in with Jada. Nobody checked in. And so when we make these videos saying, here's what we need for you to do, and here's how we need for you to show up, and you're like, no, that doesn't work.
The only conversation that needs to be had by white people regarding this is white people's contribution to it. And I think that video that Traversia made, I did like. I like that.
That was a good redirect.
Let's redirect this and focus on what the white violence that was triggered. And look at this man who wrote the joke proudly. No one cares.
Right.
You know, like, in addition to, y'all gather, look at yourselves, figure that out. You do your thing while we figure out our thing. Because these are conversations. We all need therapy. Men really need therapy.
Yep.
This is for us. But when y'all come in and have any opinion, we're all in danger. And then you're removing, like, the violence that is silencing voices that could be life-changing.
Yes.
Very informative.
This could have turned into a very, very important and impactful conversation. It absolutely could have. Like you said, by thinking about how the words that are being used by white people, specifically white women, are dangerous. It's dangerous. These words, like even Amy Schumer right now, who's still saying that she's still traumatized by it. Bitch, by what? By what? Everybody else.
That's another word that we got. I think, unfortunately,
it's gonna have to
removed.
It's been one that's been removed. You know, we see that language is consistently changing, and it's now being used as a way to just, I feel, in a lot of situations, stifle a conversation. Right?
Like how dare you think that your trauma as a white woman has any place in a conversation amongst Black people? We don't get to talk about our trauma.
Mm-mm.
You think that's personal trauma? And we talked about this last time. We all have experienced personal trauma. In this, right? So we all have learned by now it's shitty. We all have personal trauma. No one wins by bringing yours out. But Black people have intergenerational trauma. Yes, we all have intergenerational trauma, but we're not allowed to have it.
No.
We are not allowed to even be humans, let alone have trauma. You don't see us as people who can be violated. You don't see us as people who could be right, wrong, nuanced, varied, having growth opportunities and opportunities for discussion. We got to be up, Will Smith, perfect all the time, or quiet. in prison.
This is going to be like you know when you say things, it makes my head go. And you just brought a point to mind. This is going to be some harsh wording, but it is what it is because this is our life and it's our space. Because we are still very much not humanized and we're not seen as people or entities or individuals, and we're not seen that we actually have autonomy and we have to perform one way or the other. It's still very much a house Negro and a field Negro mentality. And Will Smith was in the house until he did what he did.
You're not allowed to switch, by the way.
No.
I just realized that as you just said that. Because it's fine. DMX is fine when DMX was DMX. I don't know why I brought that because I was thinking about
because
white people love DMX.
They do, but they love DMX for who DMX was. And DMX would have never been considered somebody in the house, right? So they'll still love us. Right. If we show up a certain way, we have to stay that way.
Or here.
There's no opportunity for any movement because when we do, everything comes back. Don't come in here begging for us to not give up on you. You've got free education, just shh. But my God.
Sorry,
my God. You're not listening and learning if you're telling us that you're listening and learning, as it turns out. But you're I think it's my favorite one. Like you said, like when people tell you that they're listening, somebody else said it. Their ink thinks is a username. Like I love my favorite parts when they tell me that they're listening.
They're real loud about how quiet they are, basically.
But and I think about this now, and I think about this week that I've had in the comments. Like I'm gonna make this about me for a second, and it's been reckless in my comment section, which is interesting because it's not normally like that. And I realized that I hit a breaking point this week. Like I'm like, and when I say a breaking point, before anybody rushes anything, I hit a breaking point with the bullshit of like life in general. And that shows through, right? Like we've talked about how my tone can change from this way to by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And starting here at the beginning of the day. And what I realize is that I have not been the palatable Black woman that they've gotten used to.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, do I have a surprise for everybody.
Like, bitch. And like, there are times when I want to even post, like, people get reckless. I want to just post a funny thing, and I have to think about it twice. Like, I know some white person's gonna come in like, well, there's a joke about someone who's funny and she was hurt.
Oh my 17 God.
Stitches ago, and I'm sitting here thinking, do I not post it because I don't want to deal with that? No, fuck it. I'm a full ass human with dark humor and has my own trauma, and like even that shit's weird. Like. People are just, I expected more from you. I'm a fan of yours. I didn't think I'm a person.
Until I get, it won't be unspoken if you discuss it in here stuff. Until I get paid like a celebrity that owes, you know what? And that's not even going to work because I still won't owe anybody anything. Until I get paid like a celebrity, that I need this to maintain my life, I'm going to say and do what the fuck I want to do, when I want to do it, and how I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you can't get on board with that, that is none of my business. It's none of my business, right? And I think that's something else that some other people, even I struggled with it getting started with this. I was worried what people would think and worried what people will say. And then I realized, who are these people? It's that
they always come. There's always going to be.
It's always going to happen. It's going to recycle. It's going to cycle out. It's going to cycle out. And it's like that one thing that says, if you have a problem with me, call me or text me. If you can't do either one of those, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
Nice.
And even if you have my number, there's still going to be a solid chance that I'm going to say, did I physically harm anybody?
Right.
Did I verbally abuse anybody? Or did I just say something in a way that did not feel warm and fuzzy to you?
I'm not going to be sorry for saying the thing. Just saying the thing.
And why are people, it's another thing too. These are all hypothetical questions, obviously, but it's the fact that people are more upset by the thing that we're telling them as opposed to the thing that we're telling them about.
Whoa, yes. Like,
Going back to the Tiffany Haddish video, like this is a video about an everyday thing. Women, like Black women, are just treated like shit on the daily, and it would happen like in real life. But unless I could say this happened to me, and even then, I'm sure it would have been like, but she didn't mean it.
Right. There's always the hypothetical and the preemptive, and I remember you talking about the preemptive tears in that video. And then I had a comment that I just was really pissed at. It was like, oh, I didn't want to fight, but now here comes the doxing and bullying from me.
Oh, I saw that one.
And to me, that's all preemptive tears. All you're doing is, oh, look, but I don't want. I was just asking questions.
Whoa. It's that type of thing. Whoa.
Yeah. And
you're so aggressive.
You're on my page talking hella shit. And then they use attack and bully and
all of the dog whistles, every single one of them. All in a situation where, like you said, you came, and that's the lovely thing about TikTok, is that you can walk in and out of people's spaces without anybody ever knowing. But people will come in, announce their presence, be completely heinous, and then when handled as such, why are you so mean? Bitch, why are you here? Why are you here?
Right here.
You can leave. Like, you can go. But it's that mentality of, well, these are my words and my words are important, so I have to say them and everybody has to hear them. You know what? Go ahead and say them. Say whatever the fuck you want. Understand, however, that results may vary, and they generally lean towards you being told who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
In every way that I can imagine. Oh, Helen.
So much anger. Love that.
Hi, Helen. Good to see you're a fan.
Oh, Helen. That's Helen.
Helen was like your mom's white.
In my comments right now.
Yeah, Helen told you that your mom's white like you didn't know.
A bunch. Like a lot. And she, I feel like it's a he just with the energy, separated all the letters in mom, like every time. It was weird.
Well, that's
yeah, Helen, bye. Yeah, Helen, I don't know, but like 7 comments about how I'm white. and I don't know, like they thought like people were gonna be like, wait,
this is brand new information.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
I never knew.
Does your mother know you talk about her kind that way? Not her kind. I think she'd be more concerned about that. She's all for it. She'd be in the lives. She is one of y'all. Listen, okay? How do you think a white woman raised this? Okay, wait.
I was gonna say that's a broad question.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that?
Here's the thing. It's heavily because of this woman. And it's just like, maybe I should send her some screenshots. Oh, Helen.
Do you want her email address?
Go for it, Helen.
Them for you. I'll even crop them and put them in order. I'll put them like, in a nice frame.
I know. Like, what? You gonna screenshot me saying shut up to white people to my mom, and what's she gonna do? Maybe they also think I'm younger. Maybe Helen.
They think you're younger.
I'm like 15.
Yeah.
Well, cry, Helen.
Yeah.
But
and again, it's not our fault that we age so well. That does not mean. I think that somebody told me once, they were like, and it was a white woman. This was a while ago. She's like, I've got plenty of years on you. And I was like, well, how old are you? She said 45. Okay.
Someone commented that I was a cute kid, and they were like defending me. I really hated it, and it's still bothering me. They were defending it. It's a cute kid.
Can we learn how to, and this is for everybody involved, let's learn how to give compliments that don't involve with physique or physical traits. let's give compliments that are surrounding like tangible, like just personality, intelligence, without saying articulate. Never mind. I
I
take that.
was gonna say,
Nope.
boop, boop. Don't mention our intelligence. You know what? Don't mention
Damn
it.
it.
How about don't compliment us for a
Just
while?
don't compliment me.
For a
I
little
know I'm a
while.
badass. You know
For
you're
a
a
little
badass.
while. For a little while. Let's leave bodies out of it. Yeah. Our age, our just. How about shush? I'm good. Your energy is so good today. I'm down with that.
That
I
works.
like it. I
That
like
works.
it.
The energy could change throughout the day, but I'll take it right now.
But like, I'm a cute kid.
That's so condescending.
And that's in a compliment. Someone like supporting me. And I'm like, y'all are and this is why I don't care about white people compliments. And I posted about that, and people were like, "Whoa, that's so crazy." You're like, not crazy. Like you're beyond compliments. That's really no. That's not what I said.
Even that statement. You never said you were beyond compliments.
No, I was talking to white women. I said, white women, they're compliments, because especially on this app. I really, Casey Davis a while ago had posted like a friends only video to other like creators, essentially like, hey, look, we got to remember this. Mm-hmm. And just like, you will be of value until you are not here. And you need to keep your mental around that and do what's for you.
Yep.
Because treat them like clients. As long as you're providing something that they find useful, they will enjoy it. If you no longer provide that service, they will not be there for you.
Yeah.
And that's why honest black women compliments? Dead. 100% dead. Love them. Take them all day. White women, you call me cute kid and you'll say like, I'm a big fan, but... And
it's just not the same. Like there's... So like when a black woman compliments me or even says in my comment section, like, I don't know how you do this or how you keep doing this. Like you've seen that before. Mm-hmm. My instant reaction is going to be, I do it for you. I said that before. I do it for my ancestors. I do it for my current people here. I do it for the people beyond me. Sunny, love to see you. Let's connect about you joining us soon. When it comes from a white woman in this type of situation, by Dr. Berry, in this type of situation, it comes across like we talked about this. Like it's almost like the praise doesn't come from a place of thank you. It comes from a praise of like judging the work that we did.
This was good.
Yeah, like you're here receiving something from us, so just say thank you.
Yeah,
that like it's such a struggle, and if nothing else, it's made me recognize that we're still not respected as like educators.
No,
even though people are saying that they're learning from us,
right?
We're still not respected as Black women who are sharing our experience. We're still seen as staff. You're doing such a good job. That's so great. That was so well articulated. You said that so well. I know I did. I did it. I know I did because I recorded it. I recorded it. I played it back and then I posted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it's not doing what they think it's doing.
Right.
And I'm even holding space for not understanding that. I'm going to hold space for that because, like, we've been taught to compliment people and say, well done and everything. I'll hold space for the fact that this is a lesson that you're understanding, but you just have to be cognizant. It's almost like if I draw a parallel, white women, if you work with only men and you do a phenomenal job and you create these new processes, you create these new policies, you create this new infrastructure, and all they can say is, you sure did a good job on that, or wow, I didn't expect that to be so great, as opposed to just saying thank you for making this run more efficiently.
Mm-hmm. The colors, your color scheme was great on that.
Just thank you.
Say thank you. I had no idea. Or,
yeah.
Or I'm gonna look at things differently now. I love those.
Those two. Like And you know what? Here's something. I will say this. I posted a video today. There's a piece of hair here where somebody was just being a full out racist, whatever. And the comment thread, I think I had a meeting or something, but I came back and it was handled so beautifully by white women in my comment section, and it was beautiful because I was able to see what I had talked about, what you had talked about, what
Yeah.
other educators had talked to. It was a very much a learn and apply type moment. And I'm only annoyed because this woman blocked me, so I can't see the thread anymore, and I can't keep track of what was done.
That's what I hate about blocking.
I know.
I
That's why
had
I
to
don't want to do
block
it.
Gina, and it bothers me because it bothers my brain with like I can't go back to certain things anymore, and like things look stupid now. Anyway,
Yeah, it's out of track. But like that, and I can recognize, and I think I've told you before, like I have an eidetic memory. So anybody's here, like if you think I don't remember anything, there's a good chance I do. But these names, I recognize are people that are names of that have just said thank you, or that have just done the heart response, or have just not said anything at all, unless it's gathering another white woman.
yeah.
And that's like cool. Like that's where you're like, it's working. But again, it goes back to just saying thank you and not feeling like you have to say all of these extra words to add to a conversation that you just don't have any weight in. I was hoping that really kind of lasted. Like you don't have to be a part of every conversation. It's true. Like you can't know everything about everything. So why try to have
No
an
one likes
opinion?
that person. Like, do you
No.
like that person? So why are you trying to be that person? Like, I don't
Right.
understand. Don't you love the person who's like, oh my God, tell me more? So be that person. You want the person who's just like
the one that's just like
taking it in.
We want the version of the person that says that they're listening and learning, the one that's actually doing the listening and the learning.
Like I always bring up the game from like millennials remember like the game. If you think about it, you lose the game. And so if you like mention it, you're lost. Okay? If you have to say you're listening and learning, maybe you will, but you haven't done it yet.
Yeah. It's also the concept, the mindset of thinking that everything has to be a conversation, and sometimes you just have to listen. Right?
Where did y'all get the understanding that everyone wants conversation and discussion? Like, where did that happen?
I mean,
on videos.
I mean, like if you've been taught your entire life that your voice needs to be in every single situation, then you think that that's the case.
I guess that's
but
true.
I know, like I know that there's like I can't walk up to a. Let's make it generic. If I walk up to a crowd of cardiologists and start talking about aortas and valves, they're going to report me to the medical board, and I'm not even a doctor. Right? Like I just roll in and be like, you know what I think you should do? You should bypass the external aorta. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but here I am running my mouth because I showed up to the conversation and I have my opinion.
Because this is what I think. It just seems to me that based on...
It seems to me what I saw, my opinion on the matter is...
I just think that no one asked. We already know. Okay, I remember a long time ago I made a video like, I know everything about you. And people were like, I don't get it. Bitch, I said, I'm not trying to be like funny. I know everything about you. I know what you're going to say. I know what your intention is. Like, I don't know why people are missing this part. Like, we know. It's so much easier to not.
You know what's funny? It's like we know what white people are going to do because we've had, like, we observe you to make sure that we stay safe, right? We observe white people to make sure that we stay safe. White people don't have any idea what's going on with black people because unless they're oppressing us, murdering us, or beating us, they're ignoring us. So how could you have any opinion on how our lived experience goes?
That's why this is new information to y'all.
This is why this is all shocking.
This is why 2020 was like an awakening where we have been, and why black women are so confident when they speak on things. This isn't new conversation to us. We're allowed to talk amongst each other differently and more clearly about it now. Right. I can straight up be like, white women, shut up. Didn't know I could do that before. I mean, I did in groups where y'all weren't.
Right.
And now you have access to see what we're about and you want to know. So I'm giving you a little and y'all are like, wait.
That's too much.
No, that's not nice. That's not nice. What if we said bad about you?
You have.
Bitch, what? Why do
you have said it about us? That's what's hilarious. That's so badly. White women want so badly to be involved in Black spaces. Cool. If you think that we're going to change how we behave just because you wanted to get invited.
So did you want a Black face, or did you just want to be? And you want us around you doing what you think we should be doing? Because that's why I don't change up with criticism from white people, because I already knew what you were going to say. I came in, I've already had these conversations before. I'm just spitting them at you and giving you a little something to maybe be able to be quiet around and get a little more. But no.
It makes me think of like the level of cognitive dissonance to have to be repeated back to you what you have said to us. Because that's another thing. A lot of what we do is repeat back to white people what's been said to us. Because again, we observe. And that's what sets them off. Also, too, that we're saying it. But when we tell them about what they've done, that's the worst possible thing. The worst possible thing is hearing what they did to us.
Yeah.
Not how it affected us. Not how it affected society.
Outcome of the thing.
None of that. But what you did, that's the worst. How dare you say that the KKK lynched people because they did? How dare you say that Emmett Till's accuser was lying? Because she was. Like we say it because it actually happened. We don't operate in hypotheticals. We don't operate in whataboutisms. We operate in what actually happened. We operate in reality, whether it's today's reality, whether it's yesterday's reality, or whether it's a reality that we see coming based off of what's still happening.
Yes.
And because people are operating in this level of whataboutisms, or if they're operating in this space of hypotheticals, then what you're trying to do is solve a problem that doesn't actually fucking exist. You are trying to solve a problem that you're creating. You are making a problem that you can then create so that you can say, look what we did.
I solved this.
You solved the problem that you fucking created. There's already problems there. Yeah. Create the ones that are already there. It's like this giant episode of my own very ADHD thing where I'm walking around dropping project after project, except for it's human fucking lives. Instead of facing housing crises, the fact that we just passed an act that Black women can't get fired for how their hair grows out of their head, that 180 senators voted against, 180 people said still that
out loud.
But you know what? Let's not pay attention to that. Instead, let's create a hypothetical about an open-handed slap that happened at the Oscars and how it's affecting every white woman in the world right now. An open-handed slap. Like,
there are things going on.
There are things happening. There's 5 fetuses found in a white lady's house, but let's not talk about that.
Get your people. Stop worrying about us. We got us under control. I'm trying to help you see each other better. I'm trying to help you be like, oh, damn, we do look like this. Because you look like it regardless. You got big boogers on your face, and I'm trying to tell you about them. And y'all are like, yeah, but I had a cold 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so let's fix that cold.
I see.
Instead it's not all over the place.
Sorry. It's been a week. I'm not sorry.
No, we're not sorry. This struggle, like, I think often about if for a moment, I can't even articulate this one. So, it's like, I can't even get my words wrapped around it, right? Like, it's going to sound very hypothetical, very, oh, could you imagine? But even if we had 24 hours where white people had nothing, like no other choice, but to actively hear us, to actively listen to what we say, what could be done. And I know part of it is, in addition to white people wanting us to assimilate to this reality that they have created, and so they're worried that they're worried that that's what's going to happen, that we're going to treat them the way that we've been treated,
right?
As opposed to, you've got a plethora of Black women out here that want to do some healing, right? That's what ideally, the majority of Black women that I know, that I talk to, are looking for healing in some way, fashion, or form, whatever that looks like, whether they want to be a part of it head on, whether they want to talk about it. Um, but that's what we're looking for. It comes from healing. I will keep saying that. Like, I say it in some fucked off way sometimes because it's there, but it's a healing needs to happen. So if they listen to us for 24 hours and learn how to build community, how to hold community accountable, how to listen to external sources when it comes to how they treat other communities, right? Because if we talk about, without going into too much, one thing that we did see happen over the last month is a unity of Black TikTok and Native TikTok. And we saw that because our two communities listened to how we could best show up for the other one, right? We had the conversation. Native people told us what they needed. We told Native people what we needed. And boom, together, two communities found a way to band together to move through that situation, to work against the person that caused us harm, which, surprise, surprise, was a white person. But there's this, because community is so hard to find, and we know that because how quickly are people saying, I don't claim them. That's not my type of white person. I'm so embarrassed about white people. That's not how white people are. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the sooner that you start admitting the fact that your people act this way on the daily without a single fucking care for anybody else, then there's nothing that we can do, because those people that are out there harming us aren't listening to us. They don't give a fat fuck what we say. They're going to keep doing it. So nobody is calling them to task. Going back to what we said about community, when Will did what he did, swooped up.
Immediately.
Swooped up. Pulled him aside. And that's the piece that's missed, and it's got to be missed because it's Black business. But community grabbed him up immediately. It's like, bro, you...
Like, and everything Diddy said, I love the energy of what Diddy said after. He was like, we go work it out like family at the party after the place.
And they
That's
did.
All
and
that
they
needed
did.
to be done. End of discussion.
Because it was community.
From everyone in the fucking room.
It's like, if you think about, like, the people in here, you have your friends, and whether you might have a giant community or not, I would hope that you have a friend group that will hold you to task when you do something. If we do if we think smaller, there are some times that I've said some things and I've done some things, and I'm like, I've been like told, like, this is just... And I'm a human being. Like, just because I show you all this stuff that I don't fuck up does not mean that there's not things that I fuck up on the daily. And I have people that I trust in my community to say, Portia, that wasn't the move.
And we have a lot of forethought as Black women and marginalized people to consider these people prior to posting, or maybe talk to them prior to. Take that forethought. It comes into play, and that's why you don't see as many fuck-ups from Black women, just hopefully, because you are considerate of all of these things just already from your years of survival. Like I said, I knew if I posted that there were going to be white women that were going to do this, but that was on me.
But it was and yes, we've talked before too about walking things back, right? You say something in the moment and then you're like, fuck, and I have to walk it back. Again, if you just take that half a second, I feel like you've done a video or two about this. Don't you have an acronym that you use?
For which one? Which one?
For taking a minute before you post something so you don't have to pull it back? I'm making it so easy for you. You should wait before you post that.
I mean, it's wait. Oh, well, yeah, wait. I was thinking also due diligence, because I like the doo-doo one.
The doo-doo one.
Wait. I kind of came up with one of those acronyms.
But it's like, why, instead of having to walk things back, because we know the internet's forever. I will say that I told you I've been living on Twitter recently, and Twitter is better than the FBI. The way they are pulling receipts from shit people have said from forever ago, and I don't always agree with that. However, if you run your mouth about shit that's none of your business, you have set yourself up for a background check.
Well, so that's the other thing. You set yourself up with moral superiority, you are set up for failure. That's you. There's an expiration date.
People will generally leave you alone if you mind your own business. Like that's
Hey Kay. Yeah,
okay.
I like so sometimes I think about that. I'm like, ooh, sometimes I'll be like, wow, I haven't like messed up in a really big way that I think on TikTok. Did I? And I just don't know. And I'm like, and then I think about it like I'm like, wait, stop. Because of what I put myself in a position where I know who I'm talking to. I have my audience of mine. I got my people. Like, but then when you're like, I haven't been in that much trouble yet.
Right.
But you just gotta catch yourself, and that's fine. And there are like times I take the spicy stuff down. Oh, Jax.
Well, now that I've got stories, I keep my spicy stuff maybe there. But you know what? Like, here's the deal: if you can't, if you can't in 5 minutes, I'll give you 10. If you can't in 10 minutes think of something that might have potentially caused some problems, I think that you're doing okay in this day and age, right?
Like the overall goal, if the incentives are in the right place, if your goal is to do good, it's usually gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be fine. But if your goal is to be correct on my page,
I don't.
It's not gonna happen.
I've never needed to be right that bad. And what I think is hilarious too, I think that some people think that our comments, if as long as we don't have any technical difficulties, yes, it'll be cross-posted. I think that some people misconstrue our video responses for a need to be right. But if they pay attention, they will recognize, hello from LA, they will recognize that our messages never change.
Right.
So the delivery might change, but the messaging itself does not. And it's because there's no this is not a need to be right.
Right. Yeah.
We're just saying what is. But this pushback, this trying to get a different answer out of us, or trying to get a different response, or trying to get a different viewpoint. Like, if you are arguing facts with fiction, it's not going to work. It's like playing chess and checkers. It's just, you can't bring a fake fight to a real fight and hope that it works out.
Right. Back to what you were saying about we're dealing with actual experiences. We have dealt with enough that we don't need to make things up. That's the other thing. When you're thinking, hey, this Black woman is telling me a story that doesn't sound right, think to yourself, hold on. Why would she need to do that?
Mm-hmm.
We have zero reasons to make up traumas or make up things that are hurtful. We've got enough. So when bringing it up, it's because it's real. Like, just believe it. Well, someone's touched my hair and it didn't feel like that to me. I don't care. No one asked. Like,
it's that. Yes, you don't have to have. That's another thing. Quit comparing what might have happened to you to what happened to us. This is not. Are we drinking? What happened?
Did someone ask what my name means?
Oh, let me actually switch to something stronger then. But we'll use that example, right? If I say that a white woman came up and touched my hair without permission, and I was taken aback, and I'm sick of that happening. Yeah. And your response is, people touch my hair all the time and it doesn't bother me. It's a couple ways I'm going to approach that. Number one, I'm gonna verbally smack in the face like, this is not about you. Number two, do you have to have laws passed to grow your hair out of your head? And number three, do you or your people have a history of people just touching you whenever they want, however they want, whenever they want, simply because they can? Because that's another piece that's missed. This whole thing of coming up and touching us and putting your hands all over us and everything. Do you know who fucking did that? People that owned slaves. People that owned enslaved people went up and touched the people that they wanted to buy. Oh, this one's sturdy. This one's too thin. This one won't do. Y'all have had your hands on us for centuries. Quit
people
fucking touching me.
Zoos until
we were in zoos. We were zoos. So we were entertainment that way. We became meals at picnics. Like, just don't fucking touch us. Do not fucking touch us. This is whoever's in here, there's no rhyme or reason where I'm going right now. But again, it's been a week and I'm tired of y'all. But this concept of this mindset of being able to just do whatever you want to us. It shows up in so many ways. It shows up when you try to talk over us. It shows up when you speak for us. It shows up when you say that's not that big of a deal. The anger that I still feel for somebody saying that's not that big of a deal for how Tiffany Haddish was talked to, and I don't even fuck with Tiffany like that. Like I don't even fuck with her like that. She's all right. Like she's a black woman though, so I'm gonna ride for her. But the fact that in that moment we watched her body language, all of these displays of how black women are treated, and it's still, let me touch you. Are you fucking kidding me?
And then, like, God forbid you respond negatively.
God forbid you say, don't touch me. Why is that a problem? The fact that people get so offended, like, I just love your hair. You can love it without touching me. This level of disrespect that we experience on the daily. We are disrespected every single fucking day in so many different ways, and it's consistently pushed aside. And it's even more so when it's done publicly and it's still disregarded. We are still talking about two grown-ass men that had some background issue around a black woman who we're not talking about. Black women show up every single day. We show up every day to make sure that shit goes how it needs to go. And still disregarded.
Still expected to do much more.
To do more.
Not
to
even
do more.
Like we're there and seen as an inconvenience and expected to somehow serve you. And create the environment and the dances and the music and the content. I mean, of course.
Everything. Everything.
But don't get mad when we do whatever the fuck we want around you. And then condescend to you and then be like, well, don't be condescending to me by telling me I can't touch you. People think I'm condescending for saying, don't talk to me like that.
You know what's hilarious too is when that don't talk to me like, seriously? Have you never told somebody not to talk to you a certain way? No.
Not clear. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Also, I think what's also hilarious is when we're told how exhausted we must be. One of my favorite things, and by favorite I mean please stop doing this, is when somebody tells me how exhausted they are and then right behind it give me a litany of bullshit. I can't imagine how tired you are. But I know that for me, when I deal with this.
I knew it. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
And then they'd be like, but, you know, I hear you. The way my trauma is set up, bitch. Like, my content is about my trauma, literally. Like, this whole thing is, like, from y'all.
It's from, yeah. I mean, you can have a day. We could do a whole day of just video responses and it still would be missed.
They'd still be like, hair. Wow, you're really angry.
There's hair everywhere and I can't see it. It's driving me insane. But yeah, I love that.
Why I feel like I can help you. I'm like,
can you see it? Hold on.
My old ass always.
What were we doing the other day? We were like,
I need production help with my video. They're saying like, I definitely have all these ideas, but I'd be like, hey, so
hey, tune in.
So we're gonna go live.
I hope you like my newest blog. It's a really good one. It's about skateboarding.
The TikTok.
It's about skateboarding. Super good.
Yo, I like the humanity that's missing.
The help that we want is never with us directly.
It just comes from us. I feel
yes.
Like the best I've gotten is from other Black women. And I'm like, I don't want you to have to do this. Hey, Casey. Yeah, I don't want them to have to.
Hi, Casey.
But
I don't.
I feel bad, like when you said, and I'm like, see, but I feel bad.
Yeah, but
we do it the best.
You know, I'm always gonna do that. You know, I love. Yeah. And Gina's been a problem. Gina.
I remember her commenting on one of yours, so it was. I don't remember what it was about, but I had seen her on mine, and I had commented back. I've done video replies, and I saw her on yours once, and I was like, oh.
It's the same one. It's the same one. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Well, blocked, unfortunately.
I just, there's something else I want to talk about this week. I can't remember what it was. I know that we also talked earlier this week. Just
like it's been such a long, but like so much. This week is
and nobody learned anything from this week. That's what's frustrating.
Oh, yes, I completely agree with that.
Nobody learned anything. The thought pieces, even the videos about staying out of Black folks' business is still too much. Like, it's...
Don't you feel like some of, like you're now you're making a thing out of staying out?
Hey, white people, come here. I have a message for you.
Black people are black peopling, and we should white people over here.
Hold on, I have it down. It's a really good one.
Okay.
Hey, white people. Come here. It's time we have a talk. There's been a lot happening in the world today. And it's not,
that's always nice.
And it's not for us to talk about. It's not our business. This isn't our discussion. But since we're here, let's go ahead and talk about it.
I was personally traumatized.
I know that what you're seeing has been very triggering, and it's making you think about the time that you got into a fight on the playground when you were in second grade. But we don't have to take it to their page.
We don't have to. Let's take it to my page so we can talk about the black people here. But no. I mean, say the fuck out of black people's business. And then they just...
Yeah. I have seen, and this is something that just drives me fucking insane, because you know how quickly we move. So there's already a sound clip of Will Smith with his "keep my wife's name out of your motherfucking mouth." The fact that I've seen white people use that.
I think so many. Maybe it's been 3, but that's a lot. That's too many.
Non-creative do you have to be to take a sound clip from a situation that we've asked you to stay out of?
There's so many other sounds.
I mean, so many. How many angry... Like, you could just... Alec Baldwin has a whole voicemail where he ripped his wife and his daughter to shreds. Why don't you use that?
We've got all of U.S.
Mel Gibson. I mean, I don't want anybody to be anti-Semitic, but Mel Gibson is an asshole. Joe Rogan. I mean, plenty of examples.
Yeah. Grab your own.
But here's something that just came to mind. The same fucking people that are using that sound clip are probably the same ones that villainized Will Smith. The same ones that said he should fucking be arrested, he should have the police call on him, are the ones that are using his fucking sound clip. That's a cute little puppy.
That is
that right there.
Diva.
I just pissed myself off because y'all can think whatever the fuck you want. You can actually even say whatever you want. Again, you're going to get responded to. Think whatever you want. But while you're thinking and while that thought is rattling around in your brain, think again. Who does this serve to say this out loud?
Why am I talking?
What am I doing by saying this thought that I have in this one moment with no other information? Why should I pick up my phone or my keyboard or anything and then spread it out to the world?
Oh, wait.
I don't care if you like me.
Rachel.
Bye, Rachel.
I caught that.
Bye.
Oh no, we should change our whole platforms.
You know what? Let's stop our live.
Let's and the whole 395 people. Rachel said,
sorry, Rachel does not like us anymore.
She used to. I don't know what.
She used to.
What that's
I think
about.
that's also the best part too. I used to like you. Great.
You
didn't. If you don't like me now, that means that I probably have done something really well. I'm filtering. I'm filtering. You know. But if you like these are these things, like people talk about the weight and I see it thrown around a lot, and I really hope that people are actually using it, because again, why are you talking if you are not adding to a conversation? If what you have to say does not increase the value of that conversation, why are you saying it? If you can't speak about anything in that conversation based off of any knowledge that you have. So, doctors, we can have doctors that have a conversation, right? We hear this, I'll use an analogy. You can have a cardiologist and you can have an orthopedic doctor, and they'll talk and they'll have a mix, because an orthopedic doctor needs to make sure that their patient's heart is working just fine. These are conversations with joint knowledge. So if you don't have knowledge on the topic, why are you talking? And if we have to explain the topic to you 15 times for you still to get it wrong, and then when you get it wrong, you're like, I don't understand, then why are you talking? It is perfectly fine. I've never seen, not gonna lie, it's not often that I see this big of an effort to talk when you tell somebody that they don't have to talk, right? In what other world? Like, and people forget that we say it this way. Hi, John. People forget that we say it this way, that we tell you not to talk, because if we give you the option, you're always going to choose, I should say my words. So when we tell you not to talk, it's like, but I have to say everything. What do you have to say? Well, what if I have to say something? What if there's a scenario in which you say something and then I want to say something and I'm not fully sure if that something is going to be helpful? So I want to err on the side of caution because I want to help you. Also, let us ask for help. Yeah. You thinking offering help that has not been requested is weird. I've learned that on some of the other things on TikTok. Don't infantilize people because you've decided that you can help them in this moment. Mm-mm. Oh, someone wanted to educate me about, like, well, if it's a troll, you shouldn't keep responding to them. I'm just offering a suggestion in case you don't know how trolls work. How do they think that you got to where you're at? I'm just a lowly little cute kid. You're a cute little kid. I'm a cute black who just comes on here and with white mom. Got to make sure everyone knows my mom is white, because otherwise I'm a con woman, hypocrite. Helen. There's also this concept too, or not this concept, but this reality of people wanting us to talk in a certain way. What do they not understand about what we're talking about that indicates anywhere that we should be warm and fuzzy? Someone asked me, and I hope it was a sincere question, but I'm not sure. They were like, who is your audience? Like, when you make your content, who are you thinking about? And I think that's interesting. I think I'm multifaceted. Like, one, it's for, two, it's for us. It's for Black women. It is to help white women be better to Black women, which we have discussed before. But right. I know who's watching and who's feeling great. Yeah. Every once in a while, and I stand my ground online, out loud, in public. I do it so that someone else, and I've gotten random videos that I always save when someone's like, as a Black woman or a biracial woman, I've learned to stand in my Blackness and be unapologetic about it and not feel like I owe anyone niceness. Right. And I do that for the Black women. Yes. Who also just need a little steam released from their day to day and watch someone else just with them sometimes. It's not for Gina. No, it's not. It's not for any of y'all, really. I hope people benefit from it. I hope it helps you, but it's not for you. That part. It's not for you. And again, it could benefit you more if you stop talking. Right. Just stop. And because we live in a world, well, we live in this situation where people are talking by commenting. So they can comment, and not realizing, when people have all of these 6 comment long statements that they're typing and they're not recognizing what's being said or could be said. It's so much. And it's just like, you have such an opportunity, like just such an opportunity to really intake things. And this is going beyond just you and I, the people on here that you can listen from. Like I see it in Imani's comment threads, Ren's comment threads, Booker, Coral, like any of these educators that people just want to push back, instead of taking this opportunity to just listen, right? Just listen. And what I've noticed is for myself is that I get the videos that I get the least pushback on are the ones about boundaries. There's always going to be one person that's C-lining that comes in and starts talking about boundaries and calling me a narcissist, and I'm like, whatever. It's always one person that does that, whatever the case may be. But I don't get any pushback on that. And this is something that I pay very close attention to. Boundaries are intersectional. Boundaries are across the board, right? And I know that boundaries really speak to the women that follow me or the femmes that follow me, because I have, like, my percentage is 94% women, 6% men, which thank God. But I know that conversation runs across my audience. So that is fine. When I decide to pinpoint or speak about one specific thing, all of those conversations about boundaries go flying out the fucking window. And so do mine, apparently. So do mine.
Yeah. It's like you respect it until you don't, but there are just so many questions and there's so much, it reminds me of Gina, again, brought up algebra. I feel like people are looking at it like algebra, and it ain't algebra. It's not a formula. It's not a say this, don't say this. Be like this, don't be like this. That's white supremacy teaching you that. We are not algebra.
No.
Humanizing a group of people that you have historically not, who have dehumanized, actively dehumanized, is not algebra.
No. It's a real life situation.
It's empathy, it's understanding, it's being quiet and realizing you have been lied to. And it's not by us.
Thank you. Why are you so mad at us? We didn't lie to you.
It's new information. You're welcome.
We are telling you what you have been taught that has been wrong. We are telling you the things that have you the most dangerous person in society right now. I would think, and I don't ever want to imagine being a white woman, and whoever, they can take that however they want to, but that's just not my ministry. But I would think that if I'm being told consistently that what I'm doing is harmful, or that what I've been taught is harmful, and here's how you can do it different, because that's another thing that Black women do. Not only do we tell you that you've been taught wrong, we tell you how you can change. Right? So we come through, it's a full corrective moment, right? And I think that's another thing that we recognize is that white people will come to us and tell us that we're wrong, but they have no other option, right? They don't have, like, you're wrong, then what's going to work? I don't know. Meanwhile, we're like, that's wrong. How about you try this?
Yep.
But that's the worst possible thing we could ever do, is let them know that what they've been taught is wrong. And what's funny is it's not even a concept they came up with. So I'm not even necessarily telling you that you're wrong. I'm telling you that what you have been taught and what you're perpetuating is wrong. I'm letting you know that what you have been carrying forth is wrong. I'm giving you an option to change this narrative, to perhaps drive some change. And instead, you're like, nah,
I don't know. I don't know about that. We're trying to help you reduce harm. And you're like, but
it's already there. It's been fine. Like, why do I have to change it?
I assume you want to do better. And
yeah, but not that way.
I tell you.
But not that way. I just want to say I'm doing better,
right?
I just want to find the people that are more racist than me, so I can say, look at me being better than that.
How do I tell them this thing you're saying? How do I?
And I'm going to make a very controversial statement that I haven't planned on making, but you know, whatever. When you have certain people whose entire personality is to go after other racists, as opposed to focusing on their own internalized racism and their own internalized biases, then it goes back to that mindset of all I'm doing is looking for people that are worse than me so I can put them on display and show how good I am. I'm talking in code for a reason. I know you all know what I'm saying. I'm trying not
Right.
to type it like I would like
Right.
to stay here.
And there was
But
a reason you didn't see us say the names ever.
ever.
It's the problem. To me,
It's the problem, not the person.
The problem. Right.
It's almost like, I'm going to use a word that everybody's heard before and wait till I'm told that it's wrong, but it's almost like it's a systemic problem.
Wait. No way. Like it's beyond just like bad guy, good guy.
Imagine if your biggest fight was about dismantling the system that allowed the individuals that keep doing this. If dismantling that system was your goal, as opposed to finding some random person. Because for every person that is called out, there are 1,000 other people that aren't online.
Mm-hmm.
For every person that's brought to light, there's 1,000 other people that don't have social media, that are working in corporations, that are working in churches, that are working in hospitals, that are working in doctors' offices.
Next door.
Again,
in your office.
In your office, they're your neighbor, they're your councilman, they're your ombudsman, they're your senator, they're your legislator. It's, again, it's this mindset of it. I've heard this word a lot too, like we're looking for a gotcha moment, and a gotcha moment bores me. That does nothing for me. It stops one person in one spot, and it stops you right
for
here.
Like a second.
For
and
a second.
Stops
them. For a second. The minute you log off of here, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
But again, it's that bigger picture. But that's too much. That's too much work, right?
Well,
like
I always bring up Ted Bundy. Y'all want to talk about Ted Bundy? You're not talking about how the fact that Ted Bundy existed. How many people did he murder? Do you know, or do you just know that Ted Bundy was so charming? How could we have known? That's a ridiculous take. That's a ridiculous take. It would be very easy to know. In fact, all the facts were there. It was just that white men were like, no, but he looks like me. That's it. Let's talk about that. Talk
that
about
lack of community.
Needless murders that happened. Like, that's your culture. You could take that and be like, wow, no one listened to these women. There's a really good Amazon documentary about Ted Bundy that makes you really second guess every other piece of content, it's piece of media about him. Because you realize, oh wait, they made him the star. And no one's asking, how did this happen? Why did this happen? They're just like, right. My God.
Like, it's shocking. Like, this stuff just came out of nowhere, as opposed to it
was set up for this, and like, this is the way it's supposed to go, and duh. If it's not this person, it's gonna be the next person.
Right. It's even back to that whole concept of, excuse me, when people are like, don't do those response videos. Excuse me, those response videos are not worth anything. What's being missed is, or I guess it's this mindset where everybody thinks it's just going after one person, and instead recognizing that in that video response that you or I might do, somebody else is going to learn something from it.
1,000. Rarely does the person getting responded to come out well. That's not the goal.
That's not the goal.
It's about it's demonstrating, it's showing, see what happens and see why this is stupid. Sometimes it's just letting it sit there and saying, look,
I have to
this
tell
is what y'all will do instead of just not.
I have to tell you, first of all, this lamp back here, this is driving me insane. This is completely off topic, but hi, ADHD. I can't get rid of this lamp. It won't stand up straight anymore. I lost like the thing that goes over the lamp light bulb.
It looks
But,
like you got a good idea, but only kinda.
right. My dad gave it to me, so
The light bulb. You ever heard that sound where it's like, it was a gift from my mother, and you don't just throw away a gift. I get
that's
you.
a slam.
I get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's that mindset. Like you and I both know that if that Gina's not gonna pay attention to anything that was said, but if somebody else pays attention to what we said to Gina, then you know what I love? I love, somebody said make a wireframe for it. Sometimes I just want to talk about things and I don't need a solution. I promise. I
Don't
do.
give me more things to do.
I appreciate it. I honestly appreciate it. I have 57,000 projects happening.
It looks great to me now.
Thank you.
So.
It's doing a great job. And right now my dog's licking the wall, so everything's fine here. I've forgotten what the fuck I was gonna say. Are you getting a snack?
I was gonna, but I don't even know now. Now I'm like, this is life. I ran out of gushers. So I don't know, man. I needed, that lighting was just, I don't know.
I love the fact that I just now equate your kitchen with a snack, because I was like, do I need one?
I know, I'm just like, because you see also how I'm just kind of like.
Well, it was the other day when I was like, I yelled at myself for eating all those M&Ms, and then you started eating grapes. I'm like, well, what's that? Like, what you eating on there?
I might have some ice cream. I feel like it's an ice cream time.
Ooh. Oh my God, we had 100,000 likes.
Hey, GB.
Who's here?
Then Georgia.
Can we see Portia's dog? My dog does not like to be on camera, so if he makes an appearance,
you saw and I saw.
Yeah, he lifted his head. So
Fran is rolling around on her back.
Jax is not like, I don't know where he gets that from. Like we have a lot in common, but we do not have that part. His mother is a camera whore, and he's just like, oh, thank you.
I say that as I'm in it. The dichotomy of me being on TikTok, like I say, it makes no sense to anyone in my family. My friends are like, I don't get it. What are you doing? Because I'm like, this is not me though. This is the character. This is White Woman Whisperer, right?
Wait, character. Say orange again.
Oh my God, I had the whole conversation afterwards about it, because where's from Florida? He was like, yeah, you say orange weird. And then orange. I was like, oh, it's supposed to be more like, oh. And then I was just like, orange. Like I just couldn't undo the orange.
But I realize it's how you say your A's in general, because how you just said character. Say character. You're going to say it different now.
It too much.
I know.
Is it the Jersey? Because
it is Jersey.
Like talk, coffee, talk.
It's your A's. It's the Jersey in you. So it's like orange, character. Character. That's what it is. It's your A's.
Yeah, character. I heard it. Look at this.
I think I'm a 7 Enneagram. Am I a 7? I think I'm a 7. I just have to look it up. Have you done Enneagram?
I don't know what's that.
I will send you the test. It's like one of those personality type situation things.
I posted the little like filter. By the way, y'all, is that more advice, right? I posted the filter. It was like, oh, what are you? And it was like entrepreneur. Like I'm not that invested in the TikTok filter version. 1, 2, I've taken them all. I know they're biased. I know there's problems, but so many people are like, oh, just so you know, it's like the origin's really racist. I'm like, bro, can I just post? I just
want to have fun. I just want to have fun. You know, it's one thing I've said, like, I'm tired of thought pieces. And that's one thing that I will never forgive with the fucking Oscars is all of these fucking think pieces that I've had to see. But also, I'm tired of people in my life making everything a think piece. Like, I understand that this is what I've decided to do with my quote unquote free time. Right. Is talk about anti-racism education. That being said, sometimes I just want to twerk my ass.
I hear it.
And I should be able to do that without being worried about if Karen was looking at me funny.
That's very valid. I feel like we can't. It's the house and the field, but it's like it's for the woman. I don't know. There's another layer to it for sure.
Well, there is another layer to it because I think with women, we were dispensable. We could be used in both places. So for women, we have to show up. I just sometimes things pop up on my banner and I'm like, I don't even want to look at that later. But Black women have to show up however we're told to show up. There's a thought. Hat or no hat, a think piece. A think piece I can get behind. I'll even let you choose what hat I wear. But we have to show up how we're told to show up.
Or how we said it in the beginning and how they interpreted that as
right.
well.
There's no variation from it.
Constantly telling me what my page is about. Well, you're here. Aren't you here to teach white? I'm here because I like TikTok. And yeah, I want to yell at some white women about what they could do better because I think that's what they need. And they want it. Well-meaning white women, that's my audience. Well-meaning white women who want to do better and Black women. Because we deserve to watch other Black women talk to white people the way we've been wanting to talk to them in real life.
That's what we deserve.
That's what we deserve. But I should also be able to act a goddamn fool. But
because you're a human
being. I can do that. But I don't feel
like
I can do right. Because then my credibility, although I'm doing my best to really, really stretch that out. Like, I'm gonna look all types of ways. I'm gonna speak all types of ways. But it's like
somebody said, "Are white men not worth it?" If you have to ask that question, then you are not ready for this level of education.
What?
Somebody said I had done like I don't even know if it was. I had done some video or something. It might have even been like a baby thirst trap. Somebody's like, "What happened to the education?" I mean, this could be education too if you paid attention.
Everything could be education. You could just see us as a full-ass human being and be like, oh, that's interesting. I thought of her as an educator, but she's probably just on TikTok for funsies, and I shouldn't look at Black women like that.
Yeah.
Boom, lesson learned. No.
Yeah.
No, I expected more from you than to laugh at the laugh.
First of all, why are you expecting more from us? Like,
you don't know me.
I just need everybody to understand that my credibility, the only credibility that I'm worried about is being harmful or abusive and really harmful or abusive, not hurting feelings. But other than that, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah, especially on my phone. When
you're on my
doing
phone.
All kinds of nonsense.
On my phone.
On my own phone, on the account I created, and now I'm like, well, if you're gonna make it, maybe make it like this.
I think sometimes I miss it because there are people that have joined like as of late, and they go deep into my TikTok. Like,
I wish.
I'm like, oh, that was 20 pounds ago, and when I was a much bigger whore, and I'm like, those days were fun.
Remember that?
God, I kind of miss just being a slut all the time.
That's such a good sound. I hope someone just like clip that. Just like, got it. Because you know that a bunch of us out here are just like,
I just miss being a slut.
But it's so straight. Like, that's so funny because we're like, as much as I'm on, like, we're yin and yang. I don't like the camera. Oh my God. Because my dad was a photographer.
Oh.
Done. Okay? Get away from me. No. But the resources are the resources. This is free. I can talk to people. People in my personal life don't really know what's going on, so they have no idea. They'll just be like, hey, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, just hanging out on TikTok. Like, oh, really? No, I'm not. Nope, not sharing. I'm not ready for the crossover. Because no, I don't like. I know you're gonna see how awkward I am. I'm super awky.
I can't wait.
I'm super awky. Oh, I just gave away.
We're talking about the podcast.
That's also true.
We've already said that out loud.
We have said podcasts out loud. At some point, I thought we should.
You know what? Actually, this is a good thing. We've hinted about this, and it's not at fruition yet. So everybody, just relax.
Right.
I will say this, and this is not anything that I ever really do, but for anybody that has struggled with how to support us, Daddy, that's weird.
That's it. That's it. That's the whole comment. Portia, stop. I get uncomfortable. I am.
Okay. That's. You know what? It's been a long isolation. It's been a long couple of years. Back to how you can support us. If you have struggled, stop saying that. Like, whoever's saying that.
That's enough.
Whoever, like, if you're looking for a way, thank you, Georgia, for bringing me back to where I'm at. This is a bad situation.
I'm confused. I don't. Huh?
If you're looking for a way to support us, I'm going to get this fucking sentence out. If you're looking for a way to support us, we are planning on making a podcast happen. If you know anything about that, that comes with a lot of planning, a lot of equipment, a lot of stuff. We don't live in the same state, so there are things that have to make that happen. So what you do with that information is up to you. I'm just giving you a way to support us.
Yes. And don't rush us. And
please don't rush us, because if you want it to be good,
right.
If you want to see this that you have right here in a broader aspect, still as ridiculous. I was going to say less chaotic, but that's a lie. But for longer times, like right now we do a live and we make them work and it's fine and everything. But imagine if you could have this like once a week. Wow.
Just saying, that'd be great.
And as we've seen, something happens every week to get us here.
We will not run out of content to discuss, unfortunately.
God,
we'd be fine regardless.
That's the thing too. It's like, this is gonna sound cynical as fuck, but if nothing else, we have job security.
Yes. I don't know how I feel about it, but you know, I love when people be like, "Oh, if she didn't do the comments, she's not gonna have content." If only.
And for that, I will use the line of just go touch grass and you will find content. Like, I promise you, if you open your front door.
I was like, that's where it comes. The phone is this is where I have the most control over it, in reality.
Just open up, like, people. Or
I just look outside. Literally, I look outside and I'm like, oh, Chicago police over there. Cool.
Right.
I'm not be on my phone.
There's always going to be something to discuss. Always.
And we will try to make, and like, it might as well be a resource. If it's going to happen, if we're going to be looking at all of these things that are happening, like, let's make them conversations. Like we're talking about, like, I totally agree with you. No one learned anything this week.
No. I think between the two of us and what we have here, and one of the things that I've, like, if you join my Patreon, that's up to you if you want to or not, but there is a post that has some different benefits. But imagine if we took that and, like, linked it with, like, if you're there, then you can ask for this, that then gets discussed there. Like, I promise you, if you have a free opinion about what I should talk about, no, I've got enough going on up here. And you can take that however you want. But if you want my services on demand, then that comes with, you know, that comes with something, right? Like, if I go to some place and I say, I want this, like, if I go to a Subway and I want a sandwich and I tell them exactly what on the sandwich, at the end of it, I'm going to have to pay for that sandwich. If not, that person made that sandwich for them to eat. Like, so that said, if you would like services on demand, absolutely, there's ways to make that happen. These are just things that and nobody has to do any of this. Let's be honest. Like we can make this, we can make this happen on our own. 100%. That's not a problem. This is just a way to, if you wanted to know how to show up.
These are the ways to spread the message. I honestly like a lot of the support that you can do well, there's like the real support, there's actual resources, tangible resources. We will take those, please, and thank you. But also verbal acknowledgement of what's going on.
Right.
Talking about us, talking about what's happening, what you're learning to other people that don't know who we are.
Right.
That don't know that you're learning this stuff. Open their eyes to even the idea that there's new information that you have received. Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine the amount of beneficial conversations that could start if you're just like, have you ever followed digital?
Right. I have, and that's a really good point. I've had people report back to that. That's some of the work that I've got to do. Kelly Horner is probably not in here, and I can say her full name, it's in her username, but I've been able to do boundary talks with some teachers through her who found me here. I have that talk that I'm doing on the 11th that I was found through here. And so, yes, word of mouth. If we say something to people that resonates, why would you keep it only for yourself? Why wouldn't you share it with your friends? Your friends that don't have TikTok, you can save the video. If you can't save the video, you can screen record. If you need ways to save videos, it can happen, and that I'm happy to like help with people. But yes, word of mouth. We can make a difference, and we can hit a certain level of people. But we know how creators that are not white don't get the reach that they should through apps like this. And honestly, I know that you and I have talked about this. This is not my end all. I am not in this to be a giant TikTok star.
Right.
I'm here because this app has proven that when it wants to, it will push you out to a good amount of people, which is a good starting point. Right. And I think that's another thing that's going to allow us longevity, is that we found an entry point, we're making the most of it, and then we're going to go beyond that.
Right. It's grassroots, but this is how we're spreading. But I love messages of people like, I discussed this at the family dinner tonight, or brought it to, like that. Oh, my heart. Those are white
compliments. That's the stuff.
I take those white compliments.
Yes.
Compliments. Those are just facts that you are taking my information and making other people better with it.
Right. Those little progress reports, I always talk about how I don't necessarily need a progress report, and that's mostly true. But if you can give me a tangible example, not just I'm trying really hard. But a tangible thing, like on the boundary situation, somebody had a whole boundary thing. I'm like, that is beautiful. On the anti-racism, if you had a conversation with, what's the message here? I fucking hate group project energy so much. But if you have a lesson that, like, if you took something that you learned from anybody here, and this is beyond us, but if you heard something, you learned something, it changed something in your brain, in your mind, it unpacked something that was stuck there. You learned something new by unlearning something old. And then you took that lesson and you applied it somewhere else, and you saw a change happen there. Fuck yeah, tell me that.
I love it.
Tell me that.
An adjustment in behavior, like a change, a new door open.
A correction, a course correction. Fuck yes.
Teaching the future. I love when we get our kids involved. If you're like, hey, with the kid.
Yeah.
Love it.
But just the whole I'm listening and learning.
I'm exhausted for you. Thanks.
It's dry energy.
I'm so sorry you have to deal with this all the time.
Are you though? Are you sorry about that?
That gave me nothing. I don't have to deal with this all the time. I'm choosing to. So make it worth my effort and tell me something else.
There it is. Yes, we don't have to do this. I also love that too. You don't owe us anything. You're right.
I know that.
You're right. So why are you making this worse? You don't owe us anything. Correct.
Exactly.
So wouldn't it make sense to just and enjoy what you're getting for free?
I love to tell you how much you're doing. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh my God, thank you so much. You don't owe me anything, but you're teaching me so much.
But yeah, but a good Black person compliment though, even a Black person telling me I'm doing the Lord's work, I'd be like,
oh my God, that's the best thing ever. When that happens,
done.
let a Black woman compliment what I'm doing.
Ooh.
If I could super like that comment,
Ooh.
if I could.
And they'd be like, no words either. It's just perfect. It's just great. And the white women be like, I'm crying.
It's the best thing. And you know what I think is interesting? That brings up a really good point. It's the recognition from another Black woman is so important, again, because we're doing it for Black women, but also it's this almost like it's a validation. You know, we talk about like validation, like we don't necessarily need it, we don't have to seek it, but it still feels good, right? So when the person that if the person that I'm fighting for, if the person that I value most in the world sees some value in what I'm doing, then that lets me know that I'm on the right path.
Right. To me, the second someone's like, I'm so happy to see you slaying it like this, I'm like, done. I don't care how many white people are upset with what I said or don't understand it. Or
I might record an extra video right now because of it.
Listen.
Now because of it.
Listen. Oh, it's working for my. Okay, done. That's like, I can't tell you how many times I've been in that net, like in my head, just kind of like, wow, white women are white womening. Like, should I just like not do this? Like, should I just private it or something so I don't have to deal? And then a Black woman will come in like, thank you for saying this. I'm like, done.
It's the white supremacy culture that has us questioning that.
Yeah. Is it worth it for me to say this if I'm going to have to deal with?
Yes. Yes. And I also want Black women to feel safe to comment in our videos too. Like, feel safe. I think sometimes there that it doesn't happen, and not even necessarily like a compliment, but just even some sort of comment or engagement because of how other people might potentially come through and treat them. But just like I will go to bat for you until somebody tries to come for me. Like, that's it. I fight for Black women. I protect Black women. I trust Black women. I listen to Black women. And so my space is always going to uplift those voices first. Always. Mm-hmm. Always. That means you might see me have a difference of opinions with a Black woman in my comments, or we might view things differently or approach things differently. However, that does not mean I will allow anybody else to come for them at all. At all. I try not to have inside conversations outside to begin with. That's what I try not to do. But if it gets to that point, you best believe that I'm going to be the only person having that conversation in that moment, or another Black person. And I promise you this too. If you are in this space right now, or if you're talking to your friends, if you come to my space saying that you're a Black woman and you don't have a single picture on your profile anywhere that I can confirm that, I will not believe you.
Nope.
Because I promise you this, there have been too many fucking people in our comments and on this app using that whole thing as a person of color, knowing full well there's some age-old, raisin-looking white man that's just trying to cause some bullshit. It's not going to happen. I will protect you if I know who you are. That is one thing that will always be certain. And if anybody has any misconceptions about that, let me make that perfectly clear one more time. I protect Black women always. Always. First and foremost, I am going to take care of my people.
Every time. Because that's who we know, one, period. Actually, that's who we know. But that's who we know will do it right. That's who has done it forever. That's who has the experience supporting, helping people to survive, to live, and to thrive.
Right.
We're the only ones who have been doing it. So if you focus on Black women, everybody else benefits. So I'm going to keep doing that.
If you focus on Black women, everybody else benefits.
Period. Trickle down equity. Okay? That your focus, and everybody will. That's why when you see our content and it helps you with other aspects in your lives, that's not a coincidence. Because it helps us, it helps you. If it helps us, it helps you.
Always.
So
We can.
just
It makes me think of
remember.
that example of, you remember that weird trend? We talked about this briefly, but that weird trend is like when a black woman calls me baby, and they were doing that whole. So leaving that part aside, the fact that it was recognized that that was even part of a trend, knowing that, come on.
I'm like, how did y'all do that and not feel it, like the ick when they were doing the trend? When a black woman calls me baby,
That would involve thinking beyond themselves.
I'm
Venmo is better.
I'm not thinking about you and how you feel to hear it from a black woman. What has that black woman gone through that she feels the need to coddle you in whatever moment that was that she said that to you?
And how often do we that? Thank you. That's our instinct, and it's and I know in our moment it's not a coddle thing. It's just what we do. It's what we do. It's who we are. It is who we are, and the fact that the fact that that takes precedence in situations also speaks volumes. This has been such a fucking rough week. I think about this, how little we are respected. I can't stop thinking about that. I cannot stop thinking about how little we're respected. Just the smallest things. And I said in a video today that you can't love, somebody was like, the bullshit, like, I just want everybody to love each other. That won't work if you don't love black women. And black women are not loved. Black women are used. Black women are fetishized. Black women are held on this weird, not even a pedestal, but we're just on display all the time. But we're not respected. We're expected to do everything that has been told that we have to do. It doesn't matter the fact that we built this fucking country. It doesn't matter the fact that we kept this fucking country going. We are still the most disrespected human beings in America. And for what? And for what? Like, this is what gets me angry. This is what gets me angry. What the fuck did we do? What the fuck did we do?
We knew more
other than try to fucking live. We have been stolen from our country. We've been sold. We have been SA'd. We have been the word I'm not going to say because I want to kicked off, but violently. We have been ripped from our families. We've been forced to raise the children of our abusers. We've been forced to raise the families of our abusers. We've been forced to nurse their children that aren't even ours. When that happens and we get free, then we're forced to clean their houses. We're forced to clean their kids. We have done everything for this everything for this country. Everything. There's nothing that happens. There's nothing that happens in this country without some aspect of us. And this is how the fuck we're treated. And it comes down to the people in here, even the people that can't stop talking when we say to just listen for a minute. That right there is disrespect. We just, at some point, if we have taken this decision to set aside how you have treated us for centuries to give you some free fucking education, and in a 60-second clip, you can't shut the fuck up and listen to what the fuck we have to say, that's a problem. And so if somebody says that I appreciate you or I respect you, no the fuck you don't, because you're still talking. This is not a conversation. This is not a back and forth. This is not a dialogue. This is not a panel. You wanted to know how you can become an anti-racist? Then listen to black fucking women and shut the fuck up.
All that's necessary.
And it's so easy. We give you the easiest thing to do. We tell you to just not talk.
Just listen.
We haven't even asked anybody to go out in the streets yet. We say stop talking before we say get your people together. Before we say get your community in order. Before we say get your house in order. Before we say do any of that, we say stop talking. And that first step sends people reeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I'm not doing that.
If I say, don't tell me how to operate, they say, well, wait, isn't that you telling me what to do? I'm not allowed to tell you what to do.
How dare you try to come into the house?
centuries and centuries and centuries, and it proof and proof and proof. And then it's like, well, maybe you didn't understand it correctly.
And the bullshit example of the whitewashed history, yeah, it's whitewashed. At what point do you decide to make the change? Like, at what point do you decide to learn something new?
Like, we've all, like, I remember learning in 5th grade that Columbus was a murderer, and, like, I remember being confused as to why we weren't, like, doing something about it.
Hey,
for years and years and years and years, decades, and still we're just like, yeah.
Why am I still making turkeys out of my hand?
Technically, but then we'd have to like change. I don't want to do that.
No,
let's not do that.
No, and also it shouldn't have to get to Patreon works, PayPal works if you don't have Venmo or Cash App. But it also shouldn't take getting to this point of we can talk with emotion like we're human beings, right? But there's a switch that just happened. Like I felt it. I shouldn't have to get to this point to explain what is so glaringly obvious, right? I think that one lesson that should be learned by every white person that claims that they want to be an active anti-racist is to shut the fuck up and get your ego out of the way. Get your ego out of the way. Get your ego out of the way. I don't care if society has been teaching you for years that you're right just because you're white. Right. I don't care if that's what you've been taught because that's not the truth. So get that out of the way and understand is when you are told that you're wrong, that's not a personal affront. There's nothing wrong with being told that you're wrong.
Spoiler alert, you're wrong.
But taking it as a personal affront means that now you're focused on how your ego feels. And you're focused on your feelings being potentially hurt. Mm-hmm. And you're focused on looking a certain type of way. And that now takes precedence over what needs to actually be done. What happens now is you're so concerned about, well, like, how dare you tell me that I'm wrong? Or
because that means they're wrong.
Because like, it's like they're wrong.
It's like they're inherently wrong. Yes. But that has nothing to do with us.
Nothing to do. That has nothing to do with me at all. There's nothing to do with me. If you are feeling some type of way based off of how your ancestors acted, nothing to do with me. Not a single fucking thing to do with me and everything to do with you. And you have this opportunity, and you and I joke about like analyzing feelings versus feeling them. In this moment, feel it. If you feel something in your fucking chest, if I tell you that your ancestors raped and pillaged this country and brought people over here just to own them, rape them, and then murder them or sell them off or whatever the case may be, if I tell you all of that and that makes you feel gross and your instinct is to lash out at me, Oh, yeah, Fran gets it. Fran gets it. Fran gets it.
She woke up for that.
Fran saw 200,000 likes, and Fran was like, I got shit to say.
Hey, Fran, come here. I know, she's had a day, too. She's been just hearing me just, on my phone all day.
Well, Jax right now is, like, panting because he doesn't do well when my voice hits this. Oh, my God, Ty's here. But if we're telling you, and again, we're telling you what your ancestors did. If I start breaking it down to what you did individually, then I'm really going to hurt your feelings. But I'm going to give you something broad and say, this is what your people did.
Right. And then you can analyze that and be like, wow, how did that happen?
Right.
She was like, someone existed.
Brianna, look at her smushy face, huh, baby girl?
Look how shiny I am.
She's like, no, thank you. Did you give her a bath?
No. Oh. I mean, yeah, totally. I totally bathe Fran regularly. I give her fish oil. And I feel
she does. I love that about
She likes her little fish, a meatball. She is a meatball. But yeah, they're. Oh my God, wait.
It's the wrong part. It's getting upset. Hi, Ty.
They're
I
getting.
love you.
The what does this have to say? Oh, okay.
Nope. We both lost it, didn't we?
Yeah. Anyway, no. Okay. But now I feel like I'm bringing it back to a dark place. But I don't know why.
Let's do it.
Been on my heart because we're talking about SA and like how Black women are the least respected. And ever since I learned that it was like not legally possible to grape us. Grapes weren't possible with Black women because in the law, it is written as such. It is impossible because we are provocative. We are just such promiscuous. That was the word. Somehow we are both promiscuous, masculine, dirty. Jefferson said we smelled, but still had however many children.
We are everything but something of value.
Like, we're legally not people.
There you go.
But like to
everything
have to make it a point in the law, like just in case you weren't sure, no. She can never claim that this was unwarranted.
Do you want to, I have this is an example. It's based off of a movie and a book or whatever, but it's going to make a lot of sense. Have you seen The Color Purple?
I've seen like some of it.
Okay. So the premise of it, like Danny Glover's character, Mr. Yeah. Right, and Celie, Whoopi Goldberg's character, and we know that something that strikes me about that movie and about the book, if you ever read the book, that's I encourage reading that too, is the reason why Celie went through so much violent behavior from Mr. Is because Mr. wanted her sister, who was more feminine and more attractive, and then also because Mr. wanted Sugar Avery, also curvy, more feminine, more attractive. And so when you're saying that we're nothing yet everything at the same point, Celie was considered unattractive, essentially worthless except for popping out kids. But who got the bulk of it because he couldn't get to what he actually wanted? And this is a different example, and so please be careful because this is using in-house. But even beyond this, speaking about Black women, we are at the same time all of the following things: too masculine, too loud, too raunchy, too whorish, too ambitious, too independent, too withholding of sex, too buttoned down, too attractive,
too stuck up, right?
Too stuck up. We're everything but human. We are everything but of value. And even while we are just called completely out of our names, even while we are completely violated, we're still
everything and nothing.
How do you hate, like, how do you love us so much and hate us at the same time? It even comes down to, if we start talking about cultural appreciation or appropriation, like, how do you hate us so much, but you steal everything from us to look like us? How the fuck do you, like, what sense does that make? To call us ghetto for wearing our hair a certain way, or for wearing earrings a certain way, or for wearing clothing a certain way, and we're so ghetto and we're so inappropriate and so unprofessional. But then we find one white woman that made it look one certain way and a camera caught it, and now it's all of a sudden innovative and it's trendy. It's this whole thing, it's said before. My cousin said, I've heard other places, it's the fact that you want our rhythm but you don't want our blues. You want us to create all of these things that you can co-opt and say that it's ours and that look how good it is, but knowing full well that you stole it from a Black person, specifically from a Black woman, and that you want to say that it's yours. It doesn't matter how we show up. And so that's another reason too why I encourage you and why I love hearing you say that you don't give a fuck what white people say, because it doesn't matter what we say or how we say it, honey. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't. That is something that I have gotten to. It doesn't matter how we say it, when we say it, where we say it, how loudly we say it, how quietly we say it. It does not matter. We are going to be villainized for it regardless. We might have a few people that are like, thank you for that, and I appreciate that. But as a whole, we are still villainized. As a whole, we are disrespected. As a whole, we are not cared about. We're not cared for. It's why we were being killed by doctors that don't give a fuck. I think I told my story about how I went for my back. My back was hurting, and they told me to lose weight. My back's been hurting for 25 years, and I've weighed 80 pounds less, and I've weighed 30 pounds more. My back hurts, but things like that. The morbidity, and I think Dr. Kelly might be in here still. Dr. Kelly, if you're in here, pop up, please, just so I can see you. But the medical morbidity rate with birth, like the fact that we are taught that, or that students are taught that Black people don't feel pain as strongly because of their thick skin. It doesn't matter. It does not matter how we show up. You have, if we take it to Black men, because I fucking ride for them too. So anybody else is in here, just like I fight for Black women, I ride for Black men too. So don't get it fucked up. I fight for Black people, but Black men are just told they are fucking ignorant and dumb and doing everything, but paid 8 figures to play basketball. But then when they play, they're told to shut up and dribble.
Well, the whole phraseology of ownership really bothers me.
Oh my God, who's the team owner? Who owns this?
The team owners. The way that y'all just allow these men, Black men, football specifically really bothers me, especially when it's snowing and then we pan up to the box with the white men cheering. They're old and they're cheering as if they just did something because
as if they did something.
Because they own those people down there who just ran into each other, and we're just supposed to act like this is totally normal. And then when it's time for them to show their flexibility, and they're this tall and they've got these muscles and they're this thing and they run this fast, why are we not
it's the auction block. The
100%.
The draft themselves, like the draft as a whole,
Disgusting.
Is the auction block. It's the auction block.
But they make it pretty.
But to make it pretty, y'all talk shit about athletes, but then we'll watch the sport consistently. Like, I honestly wish, like, I've seen it before too. Like, somebody said, like, or there's like a meme or a gif, something like, I wish you just called me a slur. I would rather deal with overt racism any minute of any day. Call me out of my name. Call me the N-word up and down the street if you need to.
Make it clear.
Make it clear. So I know who you are. But that shit of smiling in my face until I say something the wrong way, or a way that, until I say something in a way that you perceive to be the wrong way, or that you get your feelings hurt behind it. And now I'm out of the, just show me who you are up front.
I'd rather you just, and I've always said that. I don't care. Like, y'all need to stop caring so much about the words, the right and wrong, the political correctness, because we don't care that much about that.
No.
You can use the wrong words as long as you're doing the right thing.
I
don't give a fuck.
If you're that worried about your words, that means that you're not listening to what I'm saying, and you're also not thinking about what the fuck you're going to say. You're trying to tailor it. Say what you have to say. Say it with your fucking chest. I promise you it's going to be fine. Because if you say it, then I at least respect you for living in your truth. When you tiptoe around it, then you're being fucking phony and fake. And that means that at any point, I can say something that's going to throw you off, and here you come. And
it's a landmine.
Thank you. And this is why
I don't need it under the ground.
I don't need it. It's this space with also like this thing of, we say we don't trust white people. And of course that throws white people off. How dare you not trust me? Have you given me a reason to trust you? Beyond that.
No.
Beyond that. I can tell you right now, if you can't admit that you're inherently racist as a white person, my trust for you is gone.
Gone. That's the only non-racist is the one that says I am racist, and
that's the only one. It's the only one.
If you're like, I'm trying not to be like you are. No, if you haven't reached the point where you're already like, damn, I'm racist and I didn't know, then you're not ready.
There it is. You're not ready.
You're
So
definitely
you
not
say
ready
that.
for
That's
the
the first
stage.
part. And if you like, if you're not afraid, if you're too afraid to, if you're more afraid to fuck up than you are to actually fuck up, that's a problem. It's performative. You're trying to show up in a certain way where,
Yep.
here's the deal. If we've told you how to show up and you still fuck up, I might even give you that one try because maybe there's some room for some deeper dive. Maybe.
Right.
I have said that I leave room. The way that my grace is set up is I leave room for mistakes, but not the same mistake twice. That's how I'm set up. That's
Valid.
me. Now, if you're more concerned with how your appearance looks than fucking up, I'm gonna make you look like a fool. Like that's just like I feel like that's
It's just
what
gonna happen naturally because
it's
that's
on my,
what
yes.
school
I don't
does.
even have to try hard. It's just it's in my spirit, it's my ministry, and it's really just me talking to you. Because the more you try to, this is behavior that's not masked like being neurodivergent. And I think this is a good point that I just talked to myself today. I didn't even realize it. The whole neurodivergency argument, which is I'm over it because first of all, quit assuming that you know who is and who isn't. But if you're using that as your excuse, if that's your immediate response, then that means that you are not, if you have to ask why you got muted, then no.
That's why I said. Also, here's logistical question to that question. Anybody who ever comes onto my comments and is like, hey, I got muted, I need to know why. 1, we're not doing it. 2, because you said something you shouldn't have. 3, what? Why are you asking a question? Like, probably because you should have been muted. What? We're gonna
Probably
stop
'cause
the
you earned it.
conversation now to explain to you that you said something you shouldn't have. Stop talking.
I have to stop looking at the comments. You know, I get distracted.
I saw it, so I think that was almost my fault. I feel like that was almost my fault because I saw it and then I don't know. I saw it and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Didn't like it. No, thank you. But that's why, like, and everybody's so quick to call everybody else performative. But if you have to, like, if you're scripting your role, if you're scripting the words that you have to say before you say them, that's a performance. I would rather you like
it's
show
a literal
up.
Performance.
It's
like literal performance.
Can I have cue cards? Can I?
I just need to know what the lines are when
Line,
someone
please.
says this.
Line. Hold on, I'm gonna do another performance. Portia, I really want to show up as an ally for you. I'm just struggling. I'm struggling with what best to say.
It's
Answer's
just
nothing.
that don't say that. Sorry.
No.
Sorry, but what?
No. I'm genuinely curious. Wait, no.
What? I can't say
no, but it's just a genuine question. No.
I was trying to help you. Oh, no.
Help? I feel like that whole sound of that whole don't say that. That was actually meant for Black women.
Oh yeah.
I would rather you show up, like just show up and fuck up. That means that you're trying. Like if we want to use like, another analogy,
I'm off base.
Right.
Like don't explain, don't double down, don't like people have been like, hey, can I ask you? And I say no, and they go noted. And I'm down with that. You fucked up by asking me if you could ask me something. But I said no, and then you were like, cool.
Oh my god, you took no. Like people that take no for an answer are kind of my favorite.
Oh my god.
But an example, like
the bar is so low, by the way.
It's on the ground. It's literally
people who take no for an answer. Oh.
No, I step over that bar every morning to go to the bathroom. I think about how I have played sports the majority of my life, and I'm very good at what I do. I'm going to call it what it is. But I wasn't fantastic when I first started playing. I made a lot of mistakes, and then I had people tell me that what I was doing was wrong. And then I corrected those mistakes, and then I got better, and then I ended up being all state. It's almost like I listened to the people around me, and then I practiced my behavior, and I changed it up to match up, and look at me being a star. If only that worked in different aspects of life. It's weird. I know.
It's almost like
it would never work.
It's impossible. There's no way. We're
doing too much. We're expecting too much. I think that if I had advice for white people specifically, especially white people that say that they would like to be an anti-racist, to shut up first, to stop trying to make yourself look better.
Stop caring. Stop thinking
Stop
that you know what you look like, by the way.
Right. It
You
does
can't
not
see
matter. You've been navigating this whole life as a person with ingrained racism, doing all sorts of covertly racist things, and that's been fine.
Yeah. Right. You've been coming off this way the whole time. Just because we mention it does not create it. Someone had said in the beginning, like, people care more about being labeled as a bad person than doing a bad thing. And y'all care so much about, oh, it's like being called a racist. You should be called a racist. You should be concerned about being one. Less so much about being called one.
Being called a racist is the worst thing in the world. Is it?
You know why we're mad, right? Like, the things that people complain about, like, do you know why we're here?
Like, it's so good. You know why we're mad, right?
Like, I don't know if you heard about a little thing called all of history, but you being called a thing is not one of the top violences.
And they say it so boldly. It's the worst thing ever. I am not a racist.
They have been attacked and the called out and canceled. None of these are things.
None of these are things. Here's how you don't get canceled. And this is another thing. Here's how you don't get a reply video, if that's a concern. Is when you see a video that's a lesson, first you just don't say anything, right? Because I can't do a video reply if I can't find your comment. First part.
Bloop.
Second part, maybe, just maybe, if you feel like there's some rage that you feel, let's make it towards the action that we talked about, as opposed to saying that white people are racist. And white people, like, there's just a lot of things. Sometimes I think it'd be a good case study, but then I realize that I love my piece way too much. But even down to the fact that white people can't handle being called white.
Yo, well, see, but I knew.
How little, but they're the same people. Hold on. These are the same people that are like, well, what about White History Month? Or what about White Pride?
Oh, yeah.
Bitch, you can't even handle being called white. I call you a white man. I'm just a man. White Pride. Which one is it, George?
Make sense.
Which one is it?
Helen was mad because she says I'm white, but she's mad because I'm white and I'm talking to white people and telling them to be quiet. But then my mom's white, so she's mad, but she's like her kind. And I'm like, what?
So if Helen's calling you white, that means that your name would make the most sense, right? If we're using Helen's logic.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, but she needs me to be the colonizer as well, and she needs me to make sure I'm not allowed to talk about this. Really, that was whoever's point was, I'm a hypocrite for speaking on such things.
Yes.
But here's
and also, I'm also going to challenge anybody white in here. If you are so against being called white, if being called a white woman or a white man or a white non-binary person or a white human being, if the white part of that is so offensive to you, maybe, just maybe, unpack why that is. What is it about the white part that is so offensive? Because I know one thing, call me a black woman all you want. Bitch, I will strut even harder than I normally do. Black woman.
If
that is what's bothering you, if being called a white person,
before even saying anything about you at all,
that's the part. I saw a video. There's a sound that I use. What is it? I use it on my bread videos. Like, I don't cook, I don't clean, and it switches into whatever. But it's a white DJ that did it. And so there was a duet that a black man did, and he's like, all right, play that funky music, white boy, which is a song. It's a fucking song.
Yeah.
But people in the comments section lost their why is he gotta be a white boy? Because he's a white boy. Like that's what set you off. This is like a dope fucking beat. Here I am, like, how do I get this longer? And people are losing their full minds because he said, play that funky music, white boy. First of all, that shows you don't have any fucking culture. I know that song, and that's not even from our people. So how have they not figured out that the history of violence, that the history of racism, that the history of oppression, that the history of everything is tied into white people, and that is why
you'd have to acknowledge some things.
If they would just fucking listen to us, the guilt that we like, look right here, we're solving fucking white guilt. You wouldn't be guilty about it if you acknowledge what the fuck your people did.
We're not, we guilt, shame, those are useless, wasteful emotions. We want you to know and correct.
Thank you.
Act, acknowledge, accept.
I gained nothing.
Correct it.
I gained nothing from, and that's something else too. I guess it goes back to the gotcha moments and white people thinking that we're just that we are trying to match their energy. I gain nothing from anybody's feelings being hurt. I gain nothing from anybody feeling shame or guilt. Again, wasted emotions. They don't do anything but center you and stop you from moving forward. I gain nothing from that. That is nothing. Like, all it does is keep you in a negative place.
Incentive. There's no
incentive. And now, because it's been taught that if you feel a certain way based off of something that somebody said, so if you're activated, if I am activated by you, if you say something, my feelings are hurt, I've been taught to hate you. I have been taught that everything that you say is wrong because you made my feelings feel, or I felt a certain way based off of what you said. And because that's the mindset that people are in, that's where it gets stopped. So when we tell white people about what their ancestors have done, or maybe even what they have done, then all they hear is, this person told me I'm bad. First of all, let's break this binary of good and bad. That's not where we're at. That's not where we're at. Good and bad is not a valid measurement. It isn't. It doesn't work because there are people that are doing really, really, really good things that are going to stumble, but that does not stop them from doing really, really good things. That means that they stumbled, they acknowledge it, and they keep working. But this binary of, if you fuck up once, you completely fuck up. And that's where it has. White people are recognizing the fact that their ancestors have done some really fucking shitty things. We talked about this, the generational trauma, about how we can feel what's been done to us.
Yeah.
We hear it, we feel it, we know it, we educate, and we do what we can to stop it. Whereas white people hear their history, they're like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And they leave it alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
They hear about what their great grandpa did, again, not that far removed, and they leave it alone. Oh my God.
Or they justify or say, well, they were different with theirs.
It was the time. It was the time.
And they were like family in ours. Like, the slaves were like family.
Oh my God. Yes. No, we treated them like family.
We treated them really well. There's always going to be something that is why it's not fully on you to address. In white culture, it's always, well, they are the real problems. They are the real racist ones. They are the ones who are like the worst.
It's the individualism, and that's why we still see the whole "I don't claim them" comments, or that's not our type of white people.
Such an issue with the call out stuff, and like even having conversations about Will Smith and Chris Rock, like they're not just two dudes, like just people. Talk about the systems, talk about the environments in which people are in, and then how those situations happen. Don't talk about the characters involved and think you're making some kind of revolutionary think piece.
Right. But that's what it goes back to, the whole concept of the whataboutisms, the hypotheticals, because there's so much individualism, because white people have decided to separate themselves from them as a whole. They need a specific situation to blame it on, so they can blame specific people.
Right.
That is why systemic racism continues, because without specific examples of what racism looks like, then it's not real. So when we talk about systemic racism being in the voting polls, well, that can't be true. It's just voting. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And so we don't do things to stop voter suppression. Um, it's a specific need, because then it can take the pressure off of them. So if you have like Tom and Nancy, this lovely couple that lives in Plainsville, USA, and they haven't done anything necessarily to anybody, but they've seen their neighbors, Bob and Susan, who um, call their neighbor kids out of their names or say this or the other. What they can do is they can say Bob and Nancy are super, super racist people, and I would never do what they do, and I don't even know how they do it, but they never say anything to Bob and Nancy.
Right.
They say everything to their Black friends, their Indigenous
Right.
friends, their friends with people of color. Oh my God, my neighbors are terrible. You cannot believe the things that they say. They're so awful. Why haven't you said anything to Bob and Nancy?
Right.
Why are you here telling me what they're doing? And I know that sometimes that white people think that they're protecting us by letting us know. Here's a fun fact, is that because I've been here for almost 43 years, I expect the worst from most white people.
Yeah, we
That's
didn't.
a terrible, it's not even a terrible reality. It's just reality. It's the existence. I expect the worst from white people. And until I am proven otherwise, it's going to remain that way. And that's nothing but lived experience. Even having white people show up a certain way of saying that they're there for me. You're there for me until when?
Right. We know the rest of the sentence, even if you don't know the rest of the sentence, because we've had to know this. Because there's always, we're with you. You're so pretty. You're so nice. You're so that, until you're not.
Until you're not.
Until you say no.
Until you say
I
no.
really don't like that.
We are safe for them as long as we show up in a way that makes them comfortable. And the minute we take that away, the minute we remove the veil, the minute that we show them behind the curtain of who they're going to call the true us, but we've been the true us our entire times,
right.
That's the problem. I am tired of being somebody's safe Negro. That book, I Am Not Your Negro, like I've been wanting to reread it for a long time. I'm nobody's safe Black person. And I lived in that role for a lot of years. I grew up around predominantly white people. I went to school with predominantly white people. That's what I knew. And I learned, whether it was subconsciously or consciously, how to be safe, how to be protected, how to make sure I didn't rock the boat too much or stir the waves up. I knew how to, and I don't even know if it was code switching, if I'm honest. It was just my reality. For a long time, being around Black people was code switching for me because I wasn't around it. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I'm never going to do again. I'm going to show up authentically as who I am. And I honestly encourage white people to show up as who you are.
Exactly.
Just do it.
And there's so much
it's there. Freeing. It's freeing. And honestly, if you show up as who you are, there's a solid chance that ingrained racism that you have is thinly veiled, and we can get past that, and we can get you working to be an anti-racist. But you have to acknowledge what is there. And that's what I feel like a lot of Black people, especially Black women, do, especially if you are not raised in situations around community like your own, is that you have to break through and start to show who you truly are. And what's beautiful about our community is that we get to show up as we are, and we don't have to try to assimilate to anybody else. We just get to be us, right? There's so many, the way that Black is so beautiful is that we just show up. We just show up, right? Whereas recognizing that growing up around white people is that I was constantly trying to assimilate myself to blend in.
Not just be the most different.
Right.
But you never.
I would never blend in. I was always going to be like, I was still Portia, but like the amount of times that I was told, oh my God, you're Black, but you're not like Black.
Yeah. No.
That's a whole nother conversation that
Yeah.
I think it's good for like where we don't have company. But yeah, it's just, I think it's just that I don't know who adults only TikTok is, but I said what I said and I meant how I said it. I think that what's important for people to recognize is that it's okay to show up as yourself.
It is more than fine to just be who you are with what you know, with the years that you've been alive, and then just be that. And that can have faults, it can have crevices, it can have, idiosyncrasies that maybe don't fully take into other perspectives.
Right.
But you're okay with that, it will change. And you will just notice as you like rewatch old shows, or I said that a lot in the beginning, just like rewatch old shit. Like I love rewatching old Housewives, yeah. But I learn when I rewatch it because I am like, I definitely didn't notice this before. And there's so much material if you watch stuff from like before 2015.
Oh my God.
The cringe. It's everywhere. And you can be like, I know more now than I did when I first watched this.
It's this mindset of like, I think you and I have talked about this, or you have, or I have, or whatever the case may be, but perfectionism at its core is rooted in white supremacy culture, right? So seeking perfection is already the first problem. Right. And it's like we talk about that when you're working to be an active anti-racist, there's no end to it. There's no finish line. You just keep doing it. But attempting to be perfect or close to it is the first problem, because then you have to uphold that. Oh my God. If you show up with that being your personality and you're trying to uphold never making a mistake, as opposed to making a mistake, learning the impact that it made and going forward. There's this other thing too, is like, I guess it goes back to the perfection thing, is that we've been taught that you can't make mistakes. You can make mistakes. We're going to say things and do things that hurt other people. Let us talk about the fact that we are human beings. We are going to say things and do things that hurt other people. And it's not intentional. And we know that impact is greater than intent. We know that. But when you are taught what are you eating?
Sour Patch Kids. But they're big kids, so they're stupid.
Like, that's like, it's my favorite candy, and that's what we're gonna eat in the middle of this. No, eat it. Like, that's fine. I'm gonna have some Starburst jelly beans in a minute. But well,
can't argue with math.
Guys, pay for our podcast. It's gonna be totally focused.
It'll be so structured, you don't even know.
It's gonna be totally on point. But making the mistake, the impact, the intent. So if your intent or if your impact is stronger or more severe than what you intended, acknowledge that and then grow from that. So, that statement of impact versus intent, and it being like, yes, it's true. The impact of people's words and actions is stronger than what the intent might have been.
Yep.
But that leaves room to acknowledge what you did and then grow from that. Right. So if you have been fucked off in the comments and you got called out for it and we're like, yeah, the impact was terrible, I know what your intent was, there's a solid chance that if you listen long enough, we're going to teach you a better way how to say it.
Yeah, and we'll respect you if you take that, but
100%. Like, if you,
I
can tell you in my everyday, in my everyday life, if you hurt me, if you do something that is hurtful to me, and I tell you, and you acknowledge it, and then you change your behavior going forward,
bitch, we get married.
I'm putting out. That's what's gonna happen. I'm putting out immediately.
They want to marry me.
It's the part of the night where we have to just,
yeah. I'm losing my. But I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, so I have like 2 minutes. I have to work tomorrow. Stupid. I'm trying to. Can you guys pay for us so I don't have to work anymore?
Honestly, capitalism is the worst.
It's the worst. Like, we just want to be funny and pretty for you guys. Like, why do we have to do anything else? I just want to remind you again that Missy Elliott replied to my tweet today.
I did not forget. Was that today?
I know. It was this morning.
That was today? Holy shit.
It's the same day. It's the same day. Do you know what I had done before 11 o'clock? Okay, so the cutie that I told you about, she's an hour ahead of me, and so she was like at work and everything. So she sent me a message at her lunchtime, which is 11:15 my time. And I'm like, 11:15. I had cleaned my floors. I had cleaned my kitchen. I had put together my new coffee machine. Somebody sent me a Keurig. I don't know if they're here, but thank you so much. Put that together. Clean my filter out for that thing. Put that together.
Lizzo liked one of my posts once.
I saw that. Like, did all of this shit, and Missy replied to my tweet, and it's all in the same day. How is it still Friday? Like,
no, I refuse to believe it. I refuse it.
I just want it to be the end of the month already.
The other thing I was going to say, that's what I was going to say about what you were saying. Remember the phrase, it's good for the plot. When you mess up and something bad happens, it's good for the plot. There's no movie unless you mess up.
Thank you. How do you expect? Yes, you gotta fuck up.
You gotta do something. The movie's so boring.
How can, like, what if, like, I just had a thought, like, let's talk about like joint merch things, whatever, because you know that Miss Smarty Pants puts everything together. But now I'm like, something like you gotta fuck up. I'm gonna play around with something, but that has like that's like joint merch.
Cute.
You know that you have like your own like that's yours. It doesn't have your stamp on it, but the stop, drop, and scroll, that's yours.
I have to figure out technology. I know.
I literally, I almost called you your government name. That's yours, sweetheart. I need you to I'm gonna send you one.
Okay.
So when we're done, text me your
address. Okay.
And text me your address and the size that you need. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need you to also do a video wearing one. Like, I've done one for you.
That's true. I gotta I'm so bad at things. You guys have no idea how many ideas I have in here.
Oh, you gotta F up to level up. Ooh.
I like it.
Hold on. Can somebody screenshot that? Somebody, G, are you in here? Somebody screenshot it and send it to me on Instagram, please. Somebody do that. Yeah, I feel like not even feel like, I've realized that I get to help you be an influencer too. Well, it's gross. I hate that, but I'm just gonna I'm gonna send you stuff and just tell you to wear it.
Yeah, because if it were for you, like, everything is just so like, bleh. And of course, like, you want to go live, and I'm like, yeah, Friday 7, okay, and I'm there.
This is what we do. This is how it works. Do you have
as chaotic as it sounds is what it is.
It is. Do you have a link tree?
I do.
Then I will send me your address and your size, and I'll get you. Is Leslie Jones in here?
No, I don't think so.
Somebody said Leslie, biggest fan. I got excited for a minute. Aren't you mutuals with her?
No, I wish.
Who do I know that's mutuals with her?
Sakithia?
Maybe. Oh, yeah, that's it. Thank you, George. I just got your message, honey. Okay, so I need your size and your address.
Okay.
And then I will also send you the link that you can add to your link tree.
Oh.
So that people can see it. That's how people see the stuff because all Janin does, I love you so much. All Janin does is take the shit that I say and find a way to make it marketable.
I mean, I'm in. Like, in my head, merch, sure, right?
Yeah.
But then I start.
Yeah.
And I, like, made a whole shirt, right? And then here I am.
Right. You know what?
And this is why we need monies. So if I could get someone to, like, do things where I'm like, hey, here's an idea. They can be like, yeah. Because right now, it looks like this.
We're just getting started. Like
That's true. That's true. Longevity.
Literally just getting started. This is it.
You guys are here in the beginning.
Sometimes I also wonder, like, who's going to be our adult?
Our adult? Oh, gosh. They're going to need therapy.
This is perfect timing. It's 9:30. Miguel is playing on my Pandora, and I have a FaceTime date, so...
Cute. I have a Fran time date.
Almost the same thing?
Almost.
What are you supposed to do when we hang up? What are you going to do?
I got to walk her. I got to take her out to go peeps. Oh. So I'm gonna send you my size and my address.
Like I just gave you this.
Look, I gotta show up as my authentic self, and that bitch don't remember nothing. Okay. Don't remember nothing. She's like, "Oh, you want to know about my night? I got you." So I'm gonna walk my dog.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Size and Addy.
There we go. Oh, you wrote it down. Okay. That means I should probably get it in the next week. I think.
No, I'm gonna do it. Do it.
Oh my god. We have to do this. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think Tony made it tonight. Do you think Tony's ready for us? He's gonna be fine. I'm actually really excited. I am gonna go here pretty quickly. I'm excited to have. I'm excited for the black male opinion, and also his specifically. Yes, we're a mess.
I trust his. I feel like he knows what he's getting into, right?
I wouldn't have asked if I wouldn't have asked for myself, and I certainly wouldn't have brought you along.
Yeah, because I'm excited.
I am. Yeah, it's be good.
Yeah.
So if you're here, we'll be back Monday at same time, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, with Tony. It'll be great. Thank you for stepping into our prospective living rooms with us tonight, and thank you for being, for the most part, respectful.
Thanks. Australia, nice. Mwah, mwah.
I love you.
Love you.
Goodbye.